Hi, welcome to Idhar Udhar Ki Baatein.
A podcast that has something, nothing, and everything in between.
These are unfiltered and unscripted conversations between
Sam,
Ryan,
Rich.
who just want to talk.
but I don't know what to talk about.
Exactly.
That's 999 for the pizza, guys.
Okay, and I think it's 39 or 400 something for the dim sum.
Guys, can y'all just put this on split? Won't it be
बड़ा
like...
दे और खर्चे.
अरे यार खर्चों की तो बात ही मत करो. I have just like too many expenses right now.
Bills piling up.
Dude, it's just the 12th and
It's,
I don't
it's
have
ninth.
money in my account anymore.
It's literally 9.
It's the 9th, Ryan. You're living a lie. It's the 9th.
Fluff me.
I mean, there are so many expenses. Wait, now that you tell me, I think I forgot to pay my credit card bill.
Same. I didn't forget. I have actively been avoiding it because it's high.
Okay, and how has credit not reminded you about this already?
It has, and that's making me more anxious. It's like the more bill, every few days I get a new bill reminder, and I was like, do I really need to be an adult?
I know, right? I mean, when I was a kid, I was like, I want to grow up, and now I've
Seriously.
grown up, and I'm just like, can
don't
I
want
just
this.
grow down again now?
I think seen so many memes on this that kids, when you're kids you want to be an adult, and when you're an adult you're like nahi ho raha hai, bas ho
No,
gaya.
when you're an adult, you need adults to take care of you.
Yeah, but those adults also are not very good at their job.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
We have to adapt to those adults.
I mean, it just wish there was someone to just split the bill with at this
I
point.
know, right?
Dude.
I mean, honestly, I sometimes just wait for Adi and me to get married. So just so that he can I'd be like, this is your half. You pay this. I'm done with this.
So get
What's
married
stopping
already.
you?
Huh.
I don't have money, guys. It's all going in bills, very clearly. I mean, it's not like,
Aren't you saving every month?
no, it's all going in the bills. I mean, if Sam, you're ready to sponsor me, I would love to get married tomorrow.
Tell one of the aunties who keep asking you na to sponsor you.
यार ये आंटियों का तो क्या ही है मतलब like literally the other day I was in office, okay, and this is, oh by the way, this is just after I think a month or two after my mother passed away, okay. This colleague of mine, she's just walking by in the lobby and she's like, hey, you know what, you should get married now. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you should get married now, now you'll have someone to support you. And I was like,
I can support myself.
I can support myself,
Very
but
evidently, we can't.
but still, I mean,
Besides the point.
the point that she just wanted to attach a guy to me, and I was like, what? And she said that, and I was like, I was so visibly confused. I was like, what is this pressure of getting married? Everybody has a fascination, huh? You go to church, you go on the road, you see some random auntie after like a year or something, and they'll be like, oh, you got married or what? And I was like,
Can you see a ring on my finger?
is there a ring on this finger?
Hey, there could be. You never know.
I mean, I do know.
I
I would be
mean-
the one planning and running around like a mad woman.
Honestly, I know, but it's just so much pressurizing, I guess, to get
Yeah.
married.
I think we've spoken about this in one of the podcasts where I had said I didn't understand when Rach used to tell me, I have been getting so many, messages or, invitations of wedding and everything, or like opening Instagram and seeing so many wedding reels and all of that. And I never understood it. Fast forward a few years, and now, not just now, I think last year it's when it started. Every time I open my Instagram, someone I know is getting married. And it's not just frustrating, it's also like the pressure of, okay, maybe I should, maybe now to start saving up, but how will I save when I'm not earning enough to save and I have to pay bills?
But
So-
you're in freelancing. You can mint money whenever you want. Na?
Yeah, I can mint money. I've just started freelancing. Can't just start minting money yet.
Okay. Calm down. But yeah, I get it, like even I had like some savings and all that I had done, but then there are so many things that pop up. If it's not one thing, it's the other. If it's not the other, it's another. You don't realize when you're going through your savings also,
Yeah.
trying to just adult and get through life at this point. I mean, the amount of times I've actually developed a response now. When aunties or uncles ask me when are you getting married, I'm like, you're sponsoring or what? I'll get married tomorrow. I have no problem.
I have seen her do this with one of our uncles, and he was visibly like,
Yeah, and
He was so bamboozled on the
It'll
spot.
be very, very weird if that uncle says, yeah, okay, I'll sponsor. Kar
he
kar le."
won't. You know why? Because there is going to be the wedding would happen ideally in two styles. Okay, because I'm a Catholic and I'm dating a non-Catholic, and I was like, I want to have my white wedding, and I also want to have the Sat Fere or the Four Fere, whatever would be in his particular culture, and the uncle would have to ideally sponsor for two weddings. So that's, by the way, that's what Rose. That's the wedding. That's
The
Sangeet, Mehndi, Haldi, Shadi, and well, considering they have the Sat Feres or Four Feres separate from the reception, there'll be a reception there and a white wedding reception. So there's like what, 8-9 functions?
I
I
am
mean, good luck
already-
sponsoring
I am-
that.
Why
I am
couldn't we
already-
have some rich ancestors, Family members who could have just left us, a
Pots
big
and pots
whale.
of gold.
Yes, pots and pots of gold would be fun, but selling them in today's market would be actually quite profitable seeing the gold prices right
Yeah,
now.
the gold prices
Yeah.
are crazy right now, I feel. I mean, the other day, I think I was like, I want to invest in gold or like at least invest in one of those. So I've read up all of these schemes from Tanish, Tia and all, wherein, you pay like 12 months ka EMI or you do 12 months ka investment and 11 months. And the 12th month, they will put in. And at the end, you have like some grams of gold to your name and you can make a ring or something like that. But then the minute I went and I saw how much I would have to invest month on month, I was like, bye bye. Oh, and by the way, I'm someone who wants a platinum ring. Okay.
Yeah, she has very fancy.
And so that is just going to be like more expensive for me, and I'm just going to be like,
Not really, actually. Platinum is cheaper than gold.
since when?
Since forever. Or I'm
No.
wrong. I'm just going to look it up.
Cue, insert music, waiting music here
And
so that
then what is that?
the elevator music.
About the price, platinum is cheaper than gold. For all the ladies out there, please be like Rachel, ask for a platinum wedding ring.
Yay, I'm going to have all platinum jewelry now.
That means
Gold actually doesn't suit me as much a bit. I sometimes get like little itching allergies from gold if I wear it for too long.
go platinum. Go platinum
I
all the
am.
way.
I'm going platinum all the way, guys. Sam, what kind of wedding would you want to have? Just, for the girls in our listeners.
Since even I'm dating a non-Catholic, I'm not sure. So I was not someone who was very much invested in, the whole Catholic wedding, non-Catholic wedding. मेरे को शादी नहीं मिलेगी तो भी मैं चलेगा मेरे को. But yeah, I like the idea of that white dress and having a particular A-line dress. Then maybe I really love lehengas. So maybe a really maroonish dark color lehenga would be nice. But apart from that, I honestly have no idea. I do not want so many rituals and so many, things within this because as we've already spoken about, I'm an introvert. So I will not like attention on me. And since it's my wedding day, I don't think I have a choice. Or mine and my partner's wedding day, we won't have a choice. But yeah.
Acha, talking about weddings, how are you going to handle the kids with all these financial expenses? कभी सोचा है?
You mean my kids?
नहीं बाजू वाली आंटी का.
For 1 minute, I thought you were talking about the kids that are going to be at the wedding.
Oh shit, yeah.
I was like, what?
Do you remember
bro.
attending these weddings as kids?
Yeah. No.
What?
No,
Dude,
no.
that was one of the most fun experiences.
For you, not for the people getting married. I mean, sometimes I get so irritated with the parents of these kids because I'm like, can you please calm your kid down? This is not a playground where you just leave your kid willy-nilly in the open. First of all, the kid is here. The kids, they wear these whole 3-piece blazers for the kids, okay? The kid is here, his blazer is somewhere else, his one shoe is in Assam, other one is in
And
Bihar.
then there's
I'm
one
like,
mother or father coming behind being like, my kid dropped his shoe or his blazer over here. Can somebody see it?
Have you seen those weddings or those kids, that are literally going and picking up the confetti and throwing
Oh
it?
god, yeah.
And I get so irritated.
I can imagine Rach with her whole white or red gown or whatever she's wearing at her wedding coming and pat on that kid's head.
I really would. I mean,
I will just unleash one of my cousin on them. She's very bold. She'll just go and be like, taka.
So I have actually thought and contemplated about this, that I would want a kind of child-free wedding. Anyone under the age of like 7 or 8, I'm like, not in my wedding, please. Unless you're the flower girl or the page boy, then you are very much invited. But because I feel like, that's my day. Okay, I want the attention to be on me. I don't want some random kid coming up with confetti, although I'm not going to have confetti at my wedding. But still with confetti, just be like, bachak, right on my wedding cake or in my glass of juice.
Are you
or
going to be
whatever.
releasing butterflies or something?
No,
Oh,
God,
God.
no.
I won't be there at that wedding if she releases
Oh,
butterflies.
right. For people who don't know, Samantha is extremely terrified of butterflies.
She's
Yeah,
not
put it out there.
terrified of
I have a phobia.
butterflies, but
It's a
By
phobia.
what I know, it's a peeve. It's a really big fear.
Yeah, butterflies, moths, all of that jazz.
oh my God, this one has seen a moth. Okay, and she has howled her head off. Okay, I am sitting in the other room and she's like, oh, and I was like, what is happening? What is literally happening? By the way, speaking of bratty children, okay,
There is one at the door over there.
Sam was such a bratty kid. Okay, I cannot even. There is this whole funny story here. Okay, so Sam, when she was a kid, right? Sam comes from a very pish posh, prim and proper living area. Okay, like living area. Is that what you call it? Living.
I'm not contributing to the story.
Living.
She lives in a castle, to be
Yeah,
simple.
she lives in a penthouse castle and it's located on a very pish posh street and all, okay? And this one, okay, with all of her brattiness in her soul, has come and given me attitude. Now, for people who are listening to us, I am older than Sam by like a whole of 2 years, okay? This one has come with all of her brattiness. I have literally yelled at her. She was being bratty about something. She was not ready to listen on it and she was being so bratty and I have yelled at her. The fear. I literally yelled the brattiness out of her. And this is exactly why I don't want bratty children at my wedding. They're just good, just like, no.
But if you do want kids, how many do you want?
Oh, I want 2 kids. I just don't want my kid to grow up alone. I don't know why. I just have that thing that, you know, it's fun when a kid grows up with another kid because they get to do kid things together, you know? I mean,
but you'll have to have that age difference also because me and my
Yeah.
brother have like a 7-year age gap. So even
Yeah.
though we are siblings, he's kind of brought me up in a way.
yeah, like me and my sister, Ria and I, or even Sam and I mean, so my sister Ria and I, we have like what 1.5 year, and then Sam and I, we have 2 years, and honestly, maybe we grew up together on summer vacations only,
Yeah.
Sam and I, but having my sister there was honestly fun. I mean, Ryan, do you
I'm a
not
single
wish you
kid.
had a
I
sibling?
do not wish. I mean, there are moments when I feel like maybe there should have been somebody to split this joke with, or this trick would have been better with, you know, a wingman to hang around. But I've never really felt okay, I should have had a sibling as such. So I mean, what difference would it make? Like, what specific benefits would a sibling have?
Honestly, you are just going through life together with a sibling who is experiencing the same problems, I would say. Like, you know, so you grow up with your... So, my mom was a complete... it's her way or the highway, okay? So, me and my sister and my brother have all bonded over this my way or the highway kind of a topic, you know? And honestly, I feel like that's fun. You always have another person to put the blame on. Like, no, I didn't break it. It was her. I mean, my
you
mom
know,
was always on my sister's side, so that worked out well for me.
You know, there are actual studies showing that, you know, there are benefits to having siblings, like your social skills improve and, you know, your developmental skills, all of these skills actually become a lot
I don't
better.
think Sam can say that her social skills have improved considering she's
I
an
have
introvert.
I have a 7-year gap. I don't think that counts.
To be honest, as a single kid of a single parent, I don't see how my life could have been better, you know. Of course, there are moments where my mother had to go to work and she wasn't at home half the time. But there were always people to, you know, fill in that gap. Maybe it was sometimes my grandparents. Maybe sometimes it was, you know, the neighbor auntie who I has to hang out with. But I don't think I ever felt the lack of a sibling just because I didn't have one.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, so I've actually grown up with my brother and my sister. So we were like 3 of us to create a ruckus. But since, you know, my brother and I also had an 8-year gap, he was already kind of older by the time, you know, my sister and I were growing up. So I feel you. I mean, we've also grown up. We initially had, you know, maids that would stay with us. And, you know, they would make sure we are studying. They would make sure we're taking bath. And kind of, I think, formative years wise, I've grown up at the hand of my maid or my grandmother for that reason. And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I believe that, you know, a kid should have both of their parents. Like, there are so many things I wish my dad was around for. And I just feel like, you know, being a girl child, I kind of get a little envious of all these girls. You know, they have like this "I'm my daddy's princess" kind of vibes going on, and I'm just like, no, I don't get to do that. But yeah, I mean,
I guess on that basis, Sam's lucky, you know, with the entire family. If I am correct, she's got like, 10 cousins who live just in and around the area.
Yeah, I won't say. Yeah, I'm very lucky about my cousins, but I don't think I'm very close to my family, like immediate family as such. But very lucky that my cousins are so close, because even like from my mom's side, I have Rach and all. But even from my dad's side, my other cousin, right? I technically grew up with her, so it was always her, me, and Sean, my brother. So it was always that, you know. So she was the pampered one in the family. So even though technically she was the middle one, because my cousin came and then I was there, so I was technically the last child. So I should have been the pampered one, but I have never been pampered.
no, bro.
Okay?
I would differ. The middle kids are always the most pampered.
Yeah,
Look at Ria. Look at Ria.
Yeah, I don't know from where this notion came up of, you know, the last child being the pampered one. Rach and I had never
I'll
experienced
tell you
that.
what, it's always the first kid.
Yeah.
Especially, for some reason, especially if the kid is a guy.
It's a guy, exactly.
My brother, okay, he's the first grandchild on both the sides. First grandson, okay? And oh my goodness me. The amount of jokes and taunts I still do at him saying that, you are the first one, no. So everyone will be obviously close to you and all. Like, I say all of that. I mean, I've stopped saying
Oh my
that.
god, the expectations that people have of the first kid to be born in the family.
I know, right? I know. It's like a race against, especially if you come from a bigger family, okay?
I know.
It's like a race that who's gonna have the first kid or
Exactly.
something.
I don't think anybody cares about how that second kid in that family is performing. It's like my grandson from this guy is doing so well, but my second grandson is not doing so well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so sad.
unfortunately for our family, the second kid, again, a grandson was just Sean Sam's
my
brother. But I'll tell you what, you know, having said this, my nephew, he's there, okay? He's the first grandchild and the first great grandchild my grandmother has. Oh my god, the amount of love that Ria and I shower on him is just immense, because you know, even now my brother says that, you know, now you know how it felt like I had no control over how much, you know, they kind of pampered me and all. It's like how I do with my nephew, and I was like, makes sense, but I'm just like, I will still be bitter about this. So I mean, that is honestly why I feel like the first kid is always the most loved.
When you think of it from a kid's perspective, right? Imagine seeing your older sibling or your younger sibling being pampered, or you know, basically just seeing that, you know, one kid is being favored over the other. Because I know I have had a lot of instances where I've been compared a lot. You know, my whole life technically I've been compared a lot, and that has brought about many insecurities. And you know, when you're a parent, you don't, obviously parenting is different for everyone, okay, and we are not here to judge anyone's parenting, nor our own parents' parenting, nor anybody else's. But when you see things and you're like, you know, okay, it might be so difficult for this kid, or you know, how should you parent and this and that.
I mean, I kind of get it. Sometimes I feel like, you know, parents forget that they were kids once too. So I read about this somewhere that, you know, be the parent your kid needs, not the parent you needed. Okay? And honestly, that makes so much sense. Like, the kind of parent that I would need is not probably the parent that my kid would want.
Yeah.
And I kind of truly believe this, that, you know, every kid knows what they want when they reach a certain age, right? And if you have real, genuine conversations with your
Yeah.
kids, you know, you would know that, and you could be better parents to them.
You know, I obviously I'm not a parent, so I don't know, but whenever I think about having kids, right, I always think about having conversations with them, because we are so used to either not talking about our feelings, or if you're upset with someone, just keep it to you, that I don't want to pass that on to future generations. I want them to know that, you know, talking about it is okay. Obviously, like, I thought, like, since gentle parenting is something that has been coming up very often, I thought, no, I might incorporate the gentle parenting methods.
Oh
and
god,
everything.
that does not work. Kids need to be smacked.
Wait. Yeah.
Whoa, no.
I thought about gentle parenting until we adopted Kurama. And then I realized gentle parenting is not for me.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna come back to Ryan's point. No, kids do not need to be smacked. I have had a plate thrown right near my eye and almost lost my eye. No, kids do not need to be
When you
smacked.
say smacked, we don't mean emotionally or physically abused. We just mean like they should have.
I
that
have some
fear.
real trauma,
See,
guys.
Even I have, but I don't think kids should be whacked when you're talking about whacked. When I say kids should, when Ryan says probably kids should be whacked, I don't think he means hit with a broom or something like that, which our generation has.
No,
been
what I
through.
mean when kids should be whacked is like when they do something wrong, let them know they're right wrong. Don't be like, Ale, Babu,
Yeah.
don't do
You
this
that is
again.
not gentle
kids should be
parenting.
disciplined.
Yes,
Yeah.
they should be disciplined.
Yes, but that is not what gentle parenting is. Gentle parenting is explaining to your child that what you did right now was not good.
No, but what I'm saying
No,
is
no, no,
that's
no.
not the only thing that's required. There's something called as negative reinforcement, right?
I don't
Where
like that.
punishment actually makes the brain realize, okay, this is something that I should not do.
Yeah, there are also many negative effects
No,
to negative reinforcement.
I don't believe in negative reinforcement. I
Same.
mean, I have
See,
grown
I
up
would-
getting
yeah.
whacked left, right, center sometimes.
You're instilling fear in the kid.
Yeah.
Plus, you're literally conditioning them to tell them that hitting is okay.
You know what is the worst kind of thing is, I feel, is those things, okay, wherein a kid has tripped or fallen down, okay, and the caretaker or the mother or the grandmother hits the thing that they tripped over. Like, suppose a kid has tripped over a stone or tripped over the bed, the mother or the grandmother hits the bed, and it kind of just shows that it's fine to hit.
I find that very stupid.
I find that, like, what are you doing, child?
So I've seen parents also ignore that, when it happens, the kid has fallen down and crying and all, but not like fallen down where they've really hurt themselves badly, and then they ignoring the kid or just telling, oh, you're okay, that's fine, and then the kid is like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I think that is okay.
I think that's called positive gaslighting.
yeah, positive. There are a lot of ways to raise your kid. How your kid is also going to have a personality, okay? Like us talking about gentle parenting, us talking about backing this and that, no, will be very different, or our ideologies will be very different when we actually have kids.
Yeah.
Okay, because our kid will also have a personality, and depending on them, we will figure out what to do. And I know it's a little bit difficult for parents as well, but I think we are a generation where we'll figure out, maybe we want to do things differently.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that works because, like I said, right, be the parent your kid needs,
Yeah.
not the parent you thought you wanted. And honestly, I feel like, I resonate that the kid would also have a personality.
Yeah.
And you will see that when you have the kid. If your kid is a nice, quiet, sweet little kid that just randomly did something, this is out of the blue, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you have a kid that's, very mischievous, very naughty, and has a lot of energy, you have to direct channel that energy, honestly, I feel. And I don't know, I mean, it all kind of, I guess, depends upon how your kid is also, and how your partner is also, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I'm curious, do you think gentle parenting works? And if yes, drop it in the comments below and let us know what you think. If not gentle parenting, which other parenting methods have you heard about? We definitely want to read them in the comments below. See you later.
Bye.